Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. Today we're going to be taking the show on the road. I have received some email messages from a gentleman who lives in the same state as I live in, Pennsylvania. He lives about a little over an hour away, so I'm about to head out there to this person's house. He said he's been seeing UFO or UFOs every night for the past week or so. And so I received these email messages from him. And he also sent me a couple of videos. It's really hard to see what he's talking about in there. You can see lights in the sky, but he said it's hard. The video doesn't give it justice. So that's why I'm going to go out there tonight and see what we could see while I'm there. Hopefully something happens. He says it's been happening every night. Who knows? It's worthy of investigation as far as I'm concerned. This is a fascinating subject. Anyway, as I read the email messages that this gentleman has sent me this week, I'll play the video that he sent me as well. Anyway, it says here, I am sitting outside my house near Milton, Pennsylvania. There is an object high in the sky that I have seen the past 2 nights. It appears as a group of 5 or 6 lights in a circular or pyramidal shape. It appears generally white, but does show reddish and bluish colors at times. It is generally stationary, but does sway side to side and up and down. To me, this sounds like one big object. It could possibly, potentially. Maybe it's some sort of a big mothership or something. Who knows? Anyway, it continues here. He says, I have no idea what it is. Last night, I watched it from about 9 to 10:30 p.m. I woke up at 3:30 a.m. and looked, and it was still there. I started this email a couple of days ago. The last 2 nights, I have seen 6 of these lights around the sky. I have taken some pictures and videos, but they don't show them well. I have noticed that they appear stationary until I look at them for a couple of seconds, and then they start bobbing or swaying and sometimes flash red or blue. And then I received another message from him the next day. It says, thank you for responding. Here's a clip of one of the objects we have been observing. I could see one last night through a break in the clouds. I have been seeing them for about a week. You are welcome to come and see for yourself. And then he sent me one other email here. It says, yeah, he repeated that he saw one in the break in the clouds last night. Come up if you can. My wife and I have no idea what they are. And so we're going to find out. We're going to find out what it is. I'm going to take a ride up there. Maybe there'll be nothing tonight. I mean, who knows? Sometimes they show up and then they don't show up again. But sometimes they keep showing up over and over and over again in the same spot. And we know this because in the Turkey UFO videos from 2007, 2008, and 2009, there were alien craft hovering out over the Sea of Marmara for 3 years. And there were multiple videos taken of these objects hovering out over that sea. By a Turkish guy, Yalçın Yalman. He took these videos, and we know what those videos represent now. I mean, they were looked at by experts from 4 different countries, and those experts determined that there was no trickery whatsoever. They were authentic. And what do we see in those videos? Not only do we see flying saucers, UFOs, hovering out in the sky, but we actually saw the beings in there. Hey, maybe something like that's going out there here in Danville, Pennsylvania, where we're going to be heading out to check out pretty soon. So this should be an interesting show, hopefully, and maybe we'll see something. Maybe something will happen. Maybe I'll walk into a jackpot. Maybe what will happen, it will be a big giant mothership, and it'll see us filming, and then next thing you know, maybe there'll be little scout saucers that come flying out of it and land. Next thing you know, we'll all be getting dragged into a scout saucer and then examined. I'm just kidding. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm just throwing it out there. Just thought it was a funny thought in my head. It's not really funny, but it is, Well, it would be funny if it happened during something like this, just someone trying to film a podcast talking about potential UFOs hovering, showing up in the same spot repeatedly every night. That would be interesting if something like that were to happen all of a sudden. But hopefully that doesn't happen. But hey, maybe we'll get something. Who knows? You never know. It's worth checking out. So why not? So I'm going to get ready to go here, and I will. I also want to point out, actually, before I do head out here, I want to point out that, in the previous podcast, we were talking about demons, and I brought up this incident that happened in 2017, where there was a death in the family. I'm not going to get it through the whole thing again, but me and another family member had these, after it was over, when everything was, the funeral just ended and everything, when I got home that day, I closed my eyes and I saw these horrible demonic faces. Actually, Scott Roeder looked into this, and he sent me this little audio clip, and I'm going to use it here right now in this show, where he explained that it's actually grief hallucinations. That's what it is. I couldn't never figure out what it was. I couldn't find anything. When I looked into this, I wasn't able to find anything that explained why I was seeing these things, why a relative was seeing these things. But I guess when there's this thing called grief hallucinations, and that makes sense. So it wasn't really demons, right? It was just hallucinations caused by all of the stress and the exhaustion. And so that's what this was, apparently. And I was leaning in that direction. I just never really could say. I don't know. That was the whole thing. I don't know. I have no idea. I never had anything like that happen to me before or since. And I thought it was strange that there was another relative that had the same thing happen to him during this really sad time in our family's history. So it seems like we do have that explanation now. It wasn't really demons that I was seeing. It was apparently grief hallucinations. And this is the explanation that I received from Scott Roeder. He sent me this little audio clip to just earlier today.
Hey, Jimbo. I did some research based on the story of the podcast that you had released today, particularly regarding the demonic phenomenon with your shared family member. And what you and your family member are experiencing after that funeral fits something we see in sleep science and grief studies. When you're emotionally wrecked and sleep deprived, the brain can slip into a hypnagogic state. Hypnagogic state. That's hypnagogic. Right on the edge of sleep, where vivid, often scary images like faces or demons can spill into waking awareness. It's actually common after major loss and usually passes on its own. The fact that you both had it likely comes down to the same stress, exhaustion, and emotional overload. Not something dark attached to you. It's unsettling, but in most cases, it's just the mind processing overload.
Well, it just drove through the town of Centralia. Where there used to be a mine fire burning underneath there, but now apparently it's moved on to other areas, other parts of this region beyond Centralia. Speaking of Scott Roeder, I just want to point out that I actually did a podcast with him last night for his show, Crime Scene Time Machine, where we were talking about the Compton alien, and there will be an update. He actually uploaded a new show today, and I'll leave a link in the description so you can check it out. He had some more information with regard to that. He had a really, really good 3D model made up of that creature, that Compton alien. Very strange stuff. And now we can see that 3D model shows us what this creature most likely looked like. But I highly recommend you just check out the Crime Scene Time Machine podcast, where Scott Roeder and I were talking about his new information with regard to that. Anyway, I'm still on my way here to Danville, and we're going to see if there's going to be a big UFO coming out here tonight. Now, apparently, there has been some reports in this area of something in the sky, but it seems to be a satellite, and I'm wondering if maybe that's what this could be. This could turn out to be just a satellite. I don't know. We'll find out later on. Anyway, until later. Yeah, Pennsylvania is a very beautiful place to live. I mean, there's beautiful mountains here. It's just a great place. Very mysterious. There's a feeling of mystery about Pennsylvania. I think that's why I love it so much. On screen right now is a short little interview that I had with Pennsylvania resident Robert Bond. This is after I arrived at his home right when it was just got dark out. He lives in rural Pennsylvania, near Danville and Milton in Pennsylvania. And so we were talking after he was showing me these lights. They did show up again. There was the same objects that he has been seeing for the past about a week and a half. They did show up again, and this was him and me were talking here, and I'll play that later on. But first, I just wanted to clear something up. I was talking about recently in the same region, in Schuylkill County, which is next to this county where Robert Bond lives. In Schuylkill County recently, on August 12th, there was some strange object that was seen in the sky. And I just want to go over that really quick before we move on with the rest of this report. This was an article here from a local news outlet called Skook News. It says here, residents spot strange shape over Schuylkill County linked to rocket launch. And the image that I have on the screen right now looks like just a weird looking thing, but apparently some people are saying that this is not a UFO, that it has something to do with a rocket launch, a recent rocket launch. But this is what people were seeing, and this is not what Robert Bond showed me when I was at his property last night. Anyway, the article says here, on the night of August 12th, residents across southern Pennsylvania, especially in Schuylkill County, were astonished to witness a mysterious glowing white shape appearing in the night sky. The unexpected celestial display created a buzz among local stargazers who had ventured out hoping to enjoy the Perseid meteor shower. Instead, their attention turned skyward to a silent, shimmering spiral that held its shape for several moments before fading away. Astronomers and space watchers have connected the phenomenon to a recent Ariane 6 rocket launch from French Guiana. According to space tracking group Explorer Space, confirmed by astrophysicist Jonathan McDowell, the spiral was created by the rocket's second stage deorbit maneuver. As the rocket spun and vented fuel at high altitude, sunlight reflected off the residual plume in Earth's horizon, producing the luminous spiral visible from Pennsylvania and other regions. And I'll leave the link for anyone who is interested in seeing this. So this picture right here has nothing to do with what I saw when I was visited Robert Bond at his home on last night. So I just want to point that out. Actually, this is what we saw. This is a close-up image of this one of the objects that was hovering above his house that he has been seeing over the last week and a half. And as you can see, it's very strange. I don't know. It's inconclusive at this point. I have no idea what it is. But this is some of the stuff that I was seeing while I was paid a visit last night to Robert Bond.
Yeah. Do you see that? So I'm never sure if it's just me.
It looks like it's blinking. Yeah, maybe it looks like it's flashing.
And I see it's kind of basically a triangle, and it's moving to me.
You see on my camera right now?
It's more like a W almost. Yeah, it's moving a little. It's hard to hold the camera still, but I'm pretty sure. And it's got that, I don't like that twinkle in it. Is that an artifact of the camera?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Because I can see it with my eyes. And it is moving. It's kind of bouncing a little.
I'm going to try to zoom in one more. If I zoom in one more time, I might lose it again.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try it anyway.
I wish it would flash. Sometimes it flashes. Yeah.
I think I actually am zoomed in all the way. It looks like it is changing. It could be multicolored.
Yeah, it's moving around. Not a lot.
I just lost it again.
It's kind of just bouncing around.
There it is.
Oh, there was a little bright flash.
Yeah, look at that. I think I am getting it pretty good if you see.
It looks good.
It doesn't look... Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Mick West would tell you that's
He'll tell us it's a star or a planet or something. Or
he's welcome. I tell him, well, come on over. I don't know. You figure it out. I love that.
Here's the thing with Mick West. I mean, actually, sometimes he's right about things.
Sure he is. Yeah.
You know, I mean, there are balloons and airplanes that get mistaken for stuff, but he's being disingenuous when he...
when he ignores certain evidence that he doesn't want to look at.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do that. Or like what people describe doesn't count. I need a video or not even a video. I need more evidence. Yeah, that one's still over there, but you can't see it real well. And that one's up there.
I'm really getting... I think this is pretty good here.
This one's good. There's one there. I can see three like in a big triangle here.
I'm just going to get a little bit more video of this one, and I'm going to try to train it on somewhat. This way, you see that. I mean, that's coming through. I'm getting a pretty good, steady...
Definitely. Oh, yeah, that's really good.
Well, we're out here. I'm with Robert Bond. He is no relation to James Bond, and he lives out here in rural Pennsylvania in the Danville, Milton area of Pennsylvania, and he's been seeing some weird things here in the sky near his home recently. And we were just checking out some things, and I did see some. There were some lights up in the sky above his home that seemed to be moving back and forth like in a pendulum. It's really hard to capture them on camera. We tried. We also saw some other objects. We're not sure what they were. They were just solid lights moving in different directions. So he's been experiencing this stuff over the past week and a half.
About a week and a half, yeah. When I first saw them, when I came out the one night, I thought it was a star at first, but it was in a not. I like to look at the sky, and it was odd looking, and I started looking at it, and it was more than one dot of light. It was like 3 dots, small dots of light, and I watched it for a while, and it started to move a little bit, and kind of twinkle, and it would move back and forth and bob like it was on the sea, and then it would kind of go like this, and it would move around. And I watched it a while, and I thought, okay, am I actually seeing this? So I went and got my wife, who doesn't care about this stuff at all, and brought her outside, and I said, what do you see right there? And she watched it, and she saw the same thing. So I said, okay, then I'm not totally crazy. I am seeing something.
Most certainly, and we saw it again tonight. I mean, right when I pulled in, it was just the perfect timing because it was just getting dark out.
And the first one we saw.
And that was the first one we saw.
And the first one I saw, I would still see it. And then I saw the next night a second one. And it were clear nights, so you could see really well, and you could see the commercial jets fly over, and they're easy, they have their flashing lights. They move. These things basically stay in the same general spot the whole time I'm out here, which I don't stay out long as I get tired, go to bed at like 10:30. But the one night I woke up at 3:30, the second or third night I'd seen them, I went to the window and looked out. And the one that I'd been watching was still there at 3:30 in the morning. So my assumption is they're there all night, and maybe they're there all the time, and you just can't see them in the daytime. And so far now I see about 6 of them every night. And I usually only watch 1 or 2 because the other ones are kind of up overhead, harder to look at.
And the other interesting thing about it too was the fact that they're staying in the same position. Now, some people out there might say, well, they're just stars. Well, how could a star stay in the same position all night long? The Earth is moving, it's spinning, so that doesn't happen. The sky changes, except for these objects that you're seeing hovering out over your house. They're staying in the same position, moving in strange ways, and that's what's been happening. Yeah,
and they look like sometimes they kind of have a triangular shape to them when you look at them, and then the one I've seen several times flash like a red flash, and the other one you get like twinkles and white flashes that I've seen, and I don't know what it is. I'm not saying anything about what it is because I don't know, and if somebody has an idea, great.
Right.
I would like to know what they think.
I don't know what it is either, but I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, there could be a prosaic explanation for it, but maybe maybe we should start saying prosaic explanations should include perhaps non-human intelligence, because it is real, right? I mean, we already know that, a lot of us, we already seen the evidence, but it could turn out to be something that's has an easy answer, but maybe not. I mean, we saw some weird things here tonight. Robert's been seeing some weird things for over a week now. And maybe there is something strange out here in the sky right now tonight. And it has nothing to do with this other object that was seen on August 12th. That has no relation to that, which I will mention.
Nothing like that.
All right. I want to say thank you all for joining the show today. Until next time. Thanks a lot for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming to my house.
Yeah, it was great. See you later.